Okay. Hi, I'm Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot, and it's been a challenge to get online here since I was out of town. I don't know who screws with my computer when I'm gone, but in theory, it is working, and hopefully this is going to be uh, basically edited and put on my Rumble channel. So bear with me here. Donna, actually, I should have asked you this. What's your last name?
Yes, I'm sorry. It's Donna Ferrara. That's F as in Frank, Errara.
Okay, great. So I'm with Donna Ferrara, and actually, we're going to be talking about her upcoming Awakening conference, which is happening on Long Island in New York area. And I'm going to get your banner on the screen here in just a minute. So, Donna, why don't you introduce yourself? Explain why you decided to do a conference. Maybe this is your first outing, and maybe explain why now, why you decided to do this.
Well, thank you, Carrie, first of all, for having me on your show. I greatly appreciate this. I'm a very big fan of yours, no doubt. Honestly, I'm in New York my whole life. I've been on Long Island for many years and I love New York. I love New York very, very much. And there are really loving people here. But the idea of human and child trafficking is just not okay. And I really want to bring awareness to my fellow Long Islanders, the state of New York. And I've been calling out all the New York representatives to come and support us because this is a community, it's a unity, not a division. Because when children are abducted and taken and killed, they don't care anything about where that kid comes from. So this is a part of the community coming together to put a stop to human trafficking. I think that's the number one thing we have to think about. You're going to do your everyday life. You're going to get a flat tire. You're going to bitch at something. I'm sorry, I curse. Sorry, sorry, sorry. But the bottom line, if you don't have a purpose, if your mission here is not to do your sole purpose, if you're not following your gut, conscious energy, you'll just live in a fake existence. So any beast that's out there taking a child, killing and raping it, and taking its organs is not okay with me, and it's not okay with anybody who has a higher conscious. There's there's an existence among us and the planet on the earth that we have to battle. So the more we can bring the awareness around that it's not over there, it's someone else's problem. It's here, it's happening, and it's live. So my mission is to bring attention to my fellow Long Islanders to come together as a community, no division and no prejudice. This is not a singular attack on an individual of any kind because the beast that wants the children doesn't care anything about your prejudice. So you take your prejudice and you make an excuse not to participate, then you're responsible keeping this activity going. So I really wanted to put out that I put a message out and emailed Long Island News. That's Channel 12 News. It's the biggest news station on Long Island. I'd like them to come support my efforts, our efforts to bring attention to be the number one state to fight against human trafficking, to announce it all over, to come together as a community, as a state. That's my goal. That's my mission. And that's pretty much
Okay.
what I'm doing.
Okay, and thank you for that. I'm sure that everyone agrees with you. And but this is really, first of all, wanted you to explain sort of. I understand that trafficking is a big motivator for you, but you're having a sort of an interesting group of speakers, and they may be covering all sorts of topics. Is there something that drew you to want to make a conference? Did it, besides human trafficking
Yes.
and your background?
Yeah, so actually, I think that we have to learn more about our financial institution here in America, really learn about how it was organized, where our money is going, where our tax-paying dollars are going. And I think our spiritual consciousness If we can get more in touch with what it is to be a spiritually conscious person, I think that's going to help us understand more about what's moving around on our planet. Now, of course, I have you because you're very open and have a lot of experience about the existence of other species, the existence of our energy, our history, as far as our spirituality. I'm very interested in the AI that's here. And that's a very interesting subject, the AI. And they're speaking a lot about bringing to the they're broadcasting it now, trying to prep, I think, people to get prepared for maybe sightings. That's a big deal. It's on the news now. That'd be nice if they could talk more about other universes, the battles and the love and the hate we have with other planets and species. I think that child abduction, human trafficking, and harvesting of organs has a lot to do with other species. I think we're living here on this planet Earth, and I think there's a lot of things going on. And I think, first of all, just get people interested in why that is happening. What is that species made of that has an appetite for the abduction and killing of people? Maybe, maybe that's part of the off-world aliens or other species existence that are here that we're battling. Maybe we have to open our minds to the possibility that there's a lot more going on here than we are able to see at this time. So I was hoping that you would bring in, which a lot of the people coming that know you are well aware of your experience and your intelligence on this subject. And I was just hoping that you can entice them more to understand, to be more open to it, to help bring attention to the fact that we may not be the only people running the planet, that there's something else going on, like, for sure. And I have Mike Barra on. I hope that he's just going to knock it out of the park. I don't have any doubt he's going to be very interesting to talk about our financial institution and a lot of other things that are going on. And of course, we had Brad Olson is dynamite, and he's going to talk about his experiences publishing, maybe Antarctica, and a lot of his research he's done to open our minds about we have a lot of false teachings and there's a lot of findings that we need to
Okay.
study. Okay.
Yes. Okay. And so he's going to be talking about Antarctica and some other information. Why don't we just go down the list of speakers because you actually have more speakers than I think you started out with. So I want to make sure to get everyone here.
I'm having obviously Laura Eisenhower is going to be there, and yourself, Brad, Michael Barra. You were with him just recently, right? In
Yes,
Vegas.
also speaking at the conference, the alien event.
Yeah, so I think we have to talk more about the aliens event. We talk about that we're living in it right now, and that could be a lot to do with the human trafficking. Could be a lot, all of it, all things together. And I'm going to have Elisa V is going to be the MC. She's a lot more experienced, and she's going to run it really well for me. I'm not that experienced, and I'm very happy to have her do the MCing for us. You're going to
Okay.
see. So we have Heather Holmes, which was referred to me. She's going to speak about her studies with with medicines and medical machinery and just a healthy way of approaching life. She's in the business, I think, over 30 years. And then you have Ra Castellano. He's You're gonna really like him. He's a very spiritual person. He had an events that happened in his life that brought him to a very spiritual experience, and he has a big following. I want to bring a lot of people on that have a higher conscious and are open to talk about living amongst other species on the planet at the same time and just bringing that more awareness here that we may be living amongst others other than ourselves. Stephen Turner, he sings, he's a strong patriot, but he had an amazing experience that brought his consciousness to an unbelievable level. But my primary speakers are you, Laura, Brad, Mike, and JP. JP, as you know, he works for the military, and he's been just told that he has permission to reveal himself. So he's going to come to our conference without wearing a mask. I think
Well,
his,
that's good to hear.
yeah, finally, right? So I think he's going to talk about his missions, what he's been exposed to, and I think hopefully it all falls into place. The basis of the whole meeting together on Long Island, because we're in a drought here, we have absolutely no conferences whatsoever. I think there's a lot of people that are ready, bringing in the child trafficking, hiring your consciousness, being open to what is really running the planet. But basically, everybody here is a spiritual person, is aware of other existence and have a lot of stories. So your input and your background is really going to help set us off. I'm actually going to have you come on right after lunch so people can sit there and really take you in, because you have a lot to say, Kerry. You just have so much to say. And I need you. I need you here. I need you
Oh, well,
here.
thank you. Yeah.
I do.
All right. Now, hold on one second. I'm just trying to get back to my main screen. There we go. Okay. So that's a good introduction. I wondered, in terms of when you set this up, because it's kind of maybe a little short notice for some people. I don't know if people plan ahead really nowadays, but I don't so much as I used to. But it's been wild times, right? So I understand that child trafficking is a big issue. Do you have any sort of a network on Long Island that you were able to tap into with
You
to
know,
support your ideas here?
you know what? I brought it up. It's been on my mind for a while. It's not a strong network. I'm at the beginning here.
Okay.
I have the CC members. I have the Galactic Girlfriends and Friends around the world. That's fun and I got the connection. But right here on Long Island, everyone's just doing their thing, and I, I'm just gonna keep bringing it. I'll have more. I just feel it was a very strong pull to have it in the fall. I'm just following what happened, the energy that came in, and I'm just going with it. We're all going to be together. We're going to bring this platform, have a magnificent time. We're going to bring ideas and open up the mind to the possibility of what is going on, what is happening, not just on Long Island, but the whole globe. It's really, the energy is intense and it's really happening now. I'm just happy to start it off. I think my first event will, break the way from me. I think then people will say, "Who is Donna? She wants to have these people aboard. What are they talking about? What is this about?" I think that a lot of people, I hit the ground. I walked around talking to people, and I found that people who own businesses, restaurants, and someone working at a coal store, the people who are not born in America were the most awake people I've ever spoken to. Carrie, they know everything from all around Nigeria, Colombia, El
Sure.
Salvador. Anyone who wasn't born in America, I didn't have to talk about anything. We just had this engulfed conversation. They know all about it. When
Mhm.
I approached my fellow Americans, they're like, "Oh, that's a terrible thing. That's awful that's happening. They really got to do something about it." I'm like, there is no they. It's a we. It's us. No, it's us. So I say, oh my God, they really think that someone else is going to be taking care of it. And I was just listening to the Congress. They were having what's his name? Cash Patel was in Congress and he was testifying, and the
Right.
whole entire subject matter pretty much covers everything that I'm interested in. It was really interesting how they were battling. You're not protecting the children. You're not protecting the border. This administration, that administration. But they were bringing up the protection of the country, say. They were bringing up really good subjects. And the
Yeah,
biggest shocker was what happened with Charlie Kirk. I mean, that was a shockwave, right? A terrible loss. We're not going to, read into it too much, but there's a father that died, a husband, and a nice, sweet guy, just in a gentle way, holding a conversation with people who have different opinions, just chatting away. I mean, so, you know what, it bothered me a little bit when people would say he was so courageous. What a brave man. Since when do you have to be brave to hold a conversation in America? Like, I think that they're trying to shake you up, they startled all the kids in the world. Oh my God, they're going around just shooting you in public now. What are we in the Western here? What the hell was that about? Stimulating fear, shaking the matrix, you know, and then talking about freedom of speech. And you can't even wave a flag now, because if you wave that flag, people hate you. Your fellow Americans think that this means something else than being proud of America. It's very interesting what's going on. I love it all. I love the fact that I think it's dark energy personally, but I think it's for us to say, this is where I was born. Was it right? Was it wrong? Did they do good things, bad things? It's a mixed bag, but I love my country. When I wave my flag, just because I'm an American, you don't like people who wave the flag and you live in this country? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You think this flag means anything else but America? We got to look at that. You want to call Charlie being courageous because he was sitting there in a very peaceful environment, speaking to people, have a whole different philosophy from his. And now that's called courageous? What do we got to what? We got to be careful. We're going to be killed. Should I be afraid to hold this conversation with you? Is that what America is now? You're intimidating people from just having a peaceful conversation? I think there's a lot more brewing. I think this meeting is urgent. I think we need to rally behind what we're talking about here. I know that you and I both know we can't wake anyone up. I don't mean waking anyone up, because there's intelligent, beautiful, loving people. I don't know
well, I
why.
appreciate what you're saying. Now, I guess you don't know this, but I'm one of the people that believes that this was a white hat operation to take
Hmm.
down Charlie Kirk, in a way to protect him because he was being threatened, in part, it appears, by Israel, at least Israel, and there was other things that might have been going on that we are not even party to. But
Hmm.
so I put the banner here on
Beautiful.
this here. And so just letting you know and other people that might be watching this that I will be talking about the entire White Hat operation, how they think, why they do what they do. And
Hmm.
Charlie Kirk is a very good jumping off point. So we can
Yep.
we can also dig into all of that. Now, Juan has recently he made a statement back and someone unearthed it. And Cash Patel also sort of is in the video. It's a very short video.
Long and short of it is that you're on his stage. Uh-huh. When you hide, you go into witness protection. There's different ways you can create an identity. It's much easier to have a shared identity. And do you allow them free somewhere, or do they go to what we call Valhalla, some holding place that's not able to be in communication with the rest of the world, but as a community, and then you can bring them out later on.
Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Basically, Juan is talking about the witness protection program and how they put witnesses in what they call Valhalla. And Valhalla refers to an ancient Norse reference to warriors, brave warriors, and saying they went into sort of heaven. But the Valhalla that Cash is referring to, and Juan, is a witness protection program. And Juan explains that in this very short clip, which is actually fabulous. So I just hope that people would become aware of that. And I have put it everywhere. I put it on my Telegram. I put it on, X, .com. I put it on Facebook, everywhere. So I just want people to realize that we have evidence that this is not a hit. I think what they do is even in Juan's own case, they stage a so-called murder, assassination, and then they hide the witness. It's a fake murder, and then that person goes into witness protection along with their family and disappears from the public eye, and also from the dark side that was planning to kill them anyway. So that's one of the things that goes on. We're living in a very odd time. And I'm going to take this down off the screen. And so this is
That was really nice,
be
Carrie.
aware of how things are operating. So right now, I think people are very confused. There's also a lot of people that are get flushed out when things like this happen, and you can see the people that are in the know explaining the evidence, the real evidence, and other people that are maybe obscuring some evidence, and also coming out like laughing and stuff like that, with regard to a person who died, like that kind of mentality. And so
Right.
when they're doing that in public after such an event, it's a targeting situation where they're actually going to be tracked and traced from that point on, because they are people that are dangerous, people that are speaking out, saying, laughing when someone dies or is murdered in front of them. So this is kind of a different way of looking at it, but this is where things are going, and it is a very contentious time right now. So conference is going to be happening right in the midst of all of this, and in some ways, it's good because it brings awareness to the surface, and it tells you who your neighbors are. It tells you what their mentality is, and also is a kind of a warning system, because obviously those people in public that are sort of laughing over someone dying, that's actually, scandalous. That's not how most people who will have any kind of spiritual background understand, life and so on, and certainly not Christ consciousness. So that's what we're also looking at, is this transition all around us. And there are many very crucial things going on. Three Eye Atlas is something I'm also interviewing people about right now, and involved on a news group with regard to the evidence with Richard C. Hoagland, a former NASA scientist. And so we can also be talking about that. I don't know, you didn't mention Laura Eisenhower. Did she mention what topic she wanted to talk about this time around?
She brought up she wants to talk about the DNA and grid work. We'll see. You talked about transition time. I mean, it's when you take a step back and realize that we are. So I use the reference the Flintstones and the Jetsons. Okay, we're in a 30-year transition, because a lot of people know the Flintstones and we do know the Jetsons. And no matter what your age bracket is, because I'm around a wide range of ages, I have to use that reference because there's some training that I'll do at work. And then I have to take that training and give it to the staff, this and that, the patients. And I work with a lot of young kids too, and they're bright and they're brilliant and they're amazing, beautiful young. We have beautiful young people going to be in charge of this planet, and they're a bit more open-minded, I have to say, than the Flintstones. Not that the Flintstones aren't open-minded, but anyway, getting back to my philosophy of a 30-year transition, we are living through a transition right in front of us. The Flintstones are transitioning with the Jetsons. The Flintstones' feet are so clumsy, they don't know how to master the pedal of the Jetsons, technology. So I have to work with them, translate that. And I tell everyone there's no going back. This is it. We're moving in that direction. And all the Flintstones is not an insult because I'm a Flintstone. Everything you lived and you remembered and you did, and you're hiccuping and you're getting all these glitches and things are not moving and all of this stuff happening, it's all natural because it's all going to be behind you. And you can't help but we're going forward. And what does forward look like? Well, you're in a 30-year transition and things will never be the same. And it's a very exciting time. But while we're going through this cleansing cycle and we're moving into a different energy, you're going to, God forbid, and I'm sorry to say it, you're going to witness them for protection or a malice act, whatever all that was. We will see it as someone died. And then you're right. When you see the reaction of any person poking fun and glad someone died, that's dark. That's a dark energy. And that's not the morale of America. America, what happened to the morale here? That's not acceptable. Coming together as a community, being open-minded, who is running the show here? So I love the idea of talking about AI is very frightening to a lot of people. I mean, I have people terrified about AI coming and losing their job. They're going to take over the world. And it's like a lot of people are a little nervous about everything. You don't have to be. We have more power in being a higher conscious person. So, back to my original point, I'm on a mission that was given to me to do. I don't question it. This is what's going on. I'm going forward with it, just going to follow it all the way through. And I want to try to, anyone who could possibly shake out of it and want to know more, this is a wonderful gift that we're bringing to them. This is a wonderful gift, Carrie, to bring to the community of Long Island.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So is there anything that you want to tell people about the logistics of attending? I don't know, like so the dates and then how the conference might be happening so they can make their plans. And then the ticket sales, I guess you have them. I have put the banner on my site, and on various places, as well as, on my Telegram and so on. But if you have a link where they can buy the tickets online, are they going to be able to buy them at the door? Kind of more the logistics of it.
Yeah, you could buy tickets at the door. You could buy them, tap onto that flyer there. You can buy it on the American First Warehouse. They have an event calendar, and then you can buy your tickets through that. You can buy them at the door. I don't know if I advertised this a year ago, 6 months ago. I think it's the subject matter. I think it's with Long Island needs, is in a drought and needs like a conscious awareness. What is this conference about? Because you can go anywhere in the world, which you have, and you can draw your people. It's the audience that is attracted to what we're talking about. So bringing you and Laura and Brad and JP and Mike in, it's a mixed bag. We have to learn. I think it would be nice if we spoke a little bit about how our banking system got together. Like where the IRS, how did the federal system really work into what we live with every day? Who designed it. It all works together. It all links in together. Peace, your consciousness, not buying into the negative narrative, taking your energy low, projecting a higher way of thinking. That whole thought process is not new for you, but for a lot of people, they're into the traffic and the grid, and that electric bill is high, and they're so focused. They did such a good job of shrinking you down to be a maniac about you're functioning. You don't feel yourself. You don't feel your energy. You don't feel yourself. You don't think different. You're just so focused. And
Okay.
ticket sales I hear are moving. I would love for them. I love for it to be a packed house. because I want them to see this gift of this wonderful experience we're offering everyone. Getting the word out there, it's through podcasting, it's on all the social media screens. I don't think people, I don't know. I don't know. I'm really trying hard here. And I thank you so much for being part of my effort. I really do, Carrie.
Okay, sure, of course, and I'm happy to help. But in terms of like logistics, because I don't know, do people know where the venue is, for example, what, because it's kind of, it's like not in New York per se, it's actually on Long Island or it's
Yes, it is.
New York.
Do you want me to say the town and all that it's in?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's in Ronkonkoma, Long Island.
Okay.
It's it's called the American First Warehouse. They hold a lot of political events there.
All right.
So it's an unbiased, non-prejudiced. It's not left or right. It's none of that stuff. But the owner, Joe, is a very strong patriot. I happen to be there reviewing the venue with Tracy, she does the events there, when they found out about Charlie, and it was horrific for all of them. Just a horrific, you could imagine.
Yeah.
And so they're really, for American people, for peace. And it's a wonderful venue in which to have everyone. It's very easy to get to. It's right by MacArthur Airport. You can get in through Kennedy. I would definitely just do Kennedy or MacArthur Airport. There's hotels there you can stay. You can take your car. You can come down from Connecticut, from PA. You can come up from the Carolinas. You're not going to really get this fabulous panel under one roof on Long Island. This is your opportunity to come and listen and learn and grow. You know,
Okay.
it
Yeah, and so once again, I'm putting the banner here on the screen so people can see.
it
Uh,
is a little tiny, huh?
it's no, I mean it should look fairly large to the people that are watching. I mean, you can enlarge your screen and see it better. But I think that we've covered most of the information. I just want to make sure that if there's anything, any person that you forgot to mention, hopefully, I think you mentioned everybody. I'm looking at it. And this is actually going to come up pretty soon because it's the second,
I know.
fourth, and the fifth of, it's one weekend. So in October, the
Ah,
beginning of October, right?
it's like 2 weeks away.
Is it really?
Well,
Okay.
really, today is the 17th. So, and the
All
first
right.
week of
You're
October
right.
to me, I'll be
It's
busy the whole week.
time is just going so fast. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up with you and any parting remarks that you might like to make at this point.
I'm following the mission that God's given me. I'm not a whole overly religious person. I've always listened to my gut instincts. I've always listened to my spiritual self. And it's been pounding me for 2 years to have an event on Long Island. I guess it has to happen. I'm following it through. Never done this before, but I was willing to put myself out there to pull people together, wonderful speakers for peace on earth, for opening your mind to realize what's happening on the planet. We can do a much better job if we raise our consciousness with love and not get distracted by a lot of frightening narratives that are happening. And I just wanted to pull the people together. And I honestly don't think this is my last run. I think I'm going to be repeating this. I think, Carrie, I really want to share this wonderful movement of consciousness awareness that's happening on the planet. And New York is a lovely place. I know we're very busy, all the firemen, all the cops, all the teachers, all the nurses, every person that works at any stand, any restaurant. You're all wonderful people. New York, Long Island, we have to come together to raise our consciousness, to bring a much more higher spirit energy in the city. And Long Island, we have to do this. It's all up to us. Nobody's going to come and lift us up and fix our issues. We have to come together as a community, and we have to put the brakes on and just stop for a minute and start to feel your gut, your instincts, start to feel your senses and think a little bit more out of what's going on. We're so driven by I don't even want to talk about the matrix and what we're doing, but that's a very strong deterrent, Carrie.
But thank you again, Donna, for your efforts to bring awareness to the people. And we look forward to coming and speaking at your event venue. And I think that you've got a great lineup. So hopefully we'll attract a good audience. And that's what'll happen in a couple of weeks. So I didn't
All
even
right,
realize it
Carrie,
was so.
I'm ready for it. Thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to be with you again and all that positive, wonderful energy and education that we're going to be receiving. I can't wait to hear what you want to share with us, and I'm just so looking forward to this. God bless America. Thank
Okay.
you, Carrie.
All right. Take
Bye.
care.